Alright guys, I did receive my order today for the black V-Cube collection, which includes the V-Cube 5, 6, and 7. As many of you have seen, my white V-Cube 7 core piece did fracture off after I dropped it on the floor. And I spoke with the V-Cube customer service and did send them a video of the broken cube. However, due to the circumstances, they said they would not replace my core. I had the cube for a while, about 8 months, and they did not believe the core was defective. So I did crazy glue the piece back on, the core piece which fractured off. However, when I went to take apart the cube to lubricate it so it would turn smoother, and I put it back together, the core piece fractured back off. So I didn't expect it to hold, but either way, it was solving pretty well for a little while. So eventually, after a few messages back and forth, I took responsibility for the fracture since I did drop it on the floor, causing it to break. So I asked if I could purchase a new core along with the black V-Cube collection, and they accepted that offer. So the V-Cube 7 core cost about €5 or about $6.50, and the black collection was around $130, I believe, with the shipping. So they did lower the prices for all of the cubes and also the collection, which is why I decided to buy the black collection now. So the order itself was placed over a week ago, but it took around 4 days for me to actually get the package once it was shipped. I'm not going to take the cubes out of the box on video, but I will cut them out of the plastic just so you can see what they look like before they're removed, just the packaging and everything like that. So I have previously reviewed the entire white V-Cube collection on video. However, I'll also give a short first impression review of the black cubes as well. Alright, so I just opened the V-Cube black collection box, and I did notice a slight change in how the boxes are wrapped. They used to be wrapped in a sort of cellophane plastic. Now they have a harder plastic, and it's like a sleeve plastic that this whole box is wrapped in, and the box just slides out, sort of like that. So this is the black V-Cube 5. As you can see, it does have white stickers, where the white V-Cube, the white plastic V-Cube, has the black stickers instead. So I also did get the V-Cube 7 core that they sent me. And as you can see, they didn't put the center caps on, but that's fine because I'm just going to take them off the pieces that I have. The other V-Cube core is broken anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But there's my new V-Cube 7 white core. So hopefully I'll have my V-Cube 7, the white V-Cube 7, assembled pretty soon and ready to use. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to try to test out the 3 cubes and see how well they spin, and I will give a short first impression review of how I think the black V-Cubes compare to the white V-Cubes. Alright, so once you take the cubes out of the package, you will notice that they come with a small little pamphlet. And this pamphlet just gives a little bit of background information to their inventor, Mr. Panayotis Verdes, and it does also give some information on the cube itself that you have purchased. So it does tell about the permutations and how many pieces the cube consists of. One thing I also noticed about the black V-Cube set when I got it was that they did have a little bit of lubrication to them, especially the V-Cube 6. When you pick them up, and you play around with it a little bit, you will notice that there is a little bit of a greasy feel to it. It's really noticeable on the V-Cube 6, but not so much on the 5 and the 7. So the V-Cube 5 overall is a little bit rigid out of the box, but once you solve it a few times, you'll notice that it will loosen up a great amount. So the outside layers do have a little bit of a clicky feel, but it does not really interfere with speed solving at all. It still allows you to turn it just about as fast as you want. 2 layers, the 2 outside layers together, spin extremely smooth. Although my white cube is looser at the moment, it's only because I've had it for longer and I actually lubricated it and it's been broken in a lot. As you can see, the stickers on my white VCube 5 have peeled somewhat. On the new cubes, I did notice that the cubes do have sort of like a mesh in them. It almost looks like a checkerboard. I did draw it here because I knew it wouldn't be visible on camera. So if you do take a look at this diagram I drew, it kind of looks like a checkerboard almost. It has like these little dots in it. It's not really visible on the actual cubes through the camera, but there is some sort of mesh, and I believe it does hold the stickers a little bit better, hopefully so they don't fall apart as much as the I guess the older models did. I take it these are just newer stickers for either the black or the white cubes. So I do think that will help, hopefully, in keeping the stickers more intact. But overall, the VCube 5 is a great cube. It cuts corners amazingly. So overall, the VCube 5 is an amazing cube, and I would say it is the best 5x5 cube on the market right now. So the VCube 6 also came with the small little pamphlet, and it does mention that it has the click mechanism and that you should hear a click before making the next move. Also about the middle layers, if you don't hear the click, then the cube will lock up. So that is one problem that the VCube 6 has, and they do note that. So when I first picked up the black VCube 6, I noticed that it was pretty greasy actually. You feel like your hands are almost wet. So I did notice that about the cube. It does have the clicking mechanism. But overall, I would say that the lubrication that it has does help it out a little bit. I believe it's some sort of silicone lubricant. It does have the kind of smell that silicone has. So it might have some sort of silicone in it. Overall, you know, the cube is what I expected it to be. It's a pretty good speed cube. However, I think I might go on and modify it. I'm considering it since I would like to solve it as fast as possible. So the clicking mechanism is more noticeable when you're turning all three layers. Not so much with the outer ones. The pieces do pop. The center edge pieces, just like the white VCube 6, they do pop. It can cut corners somewhat, but I wouldn't try anything too major because the pieces do pop out relatively easy while you're speed solving. So you have to be careful, and you have to have a little bit of control over the cube. But overall, I do like the VCube 6, the black VCube 6. I think after a little bit of breaking in, possibly modification, this cube can be a great cube, definitely. Alright, so the VCube 7 out of the box is a little bit rigid, but after a few solves it does become noticeably looser, especially the outer layers. They turn a lot smoother than the inner layers do. But overall, all the layers turn pretty smoothly. There's no clicking in the VCube 7. It is lubricated already, so it does help a little bit with the process of breaking it in and helping it spin a little bit. So the cube does cut corners really well. It is a little bit harder, I feel, to align the layers right now, I think because the cube hasn't been broken in and it is a little bit rigid. So, but overall, the VCube 7 is a great cube. And I did notice, actually, you know, I said that thing about the stickers having that mesh in it. Well, I did notice that some of the stickers are already peeling, and I've only solved it a few times. So it does have that little, almost like it's being ripped. So it is ripping a little bit. So I'm not sure if that mesh will truly help, but we'll see after a few more solves. But comparable, it is definitely comparable to my white VCube 7, which I did reassemble. And as you can see, the cube is very, very rigid. So I don't know if, I think the core is pretty tight. I'm going to have to break the cube in. And I did notice that the center pieces do pop out. I believe that is because it is so tight, and I need to, you know, let it become a little bit looser. So there goes the centerpiece. There goes another one. So overall, you know, I'm pretty happy that I got a new core, but you know, my cube is a lot tighter now, so I'm going to have to do some breaking in. Alright, so of the 3 cubes for the black collection, I'm going to have to say that the VCube 5 is my favorite, followed by the VCube 7 and then the VCube 6. It is a little bit rigid, and I do think if I modified it, it would help out a little bit. My white VCube 6 is definitely looser. I did sand down some parts on the inside to hopefully help it turn better, and it does turn pretty well, but it does still have that locking problem. So this is definitely going to need some adjustment. And I am planning on doing an advanced edge pairing tutorial for the 5x5 cube to help you guys get a little bit faster with the edge pairing, which does take up the most time when you're solving the VCube 5. One more thing, I did notice that some of the bubbles were present in the stickers, and I don't know if that's going to affect how it peels, but yeah, there are quite a few of them in the cube. So that's the review, and definitely be sure to keep an eye out for that advanced edge pairing tutorial for the 5x5. Thanks for watching.